Hello everyone, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Right, well, thought I'd carry on with my collection. So we were on 20th Century Fox, weren't we? Here I have quite a few titles to get through, so I'm going to go through them quite quickly. Probably talk about one or two of them. And at the end will be the horror ones that from 20th Century Fox. So stick around for that if you like your horror films. Here we go then. So this is a classic Tim Burton film. One a little bit strange, but some of his films are a bit strange. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I think my wife quite likes it, and we definitely need to sit down and watch it. And it is Edward Scissorhands. This is a lovely steelbook. There you go. It's not still sealed, it's in one of these protective steelbook wraps. So that's Edward Scissorhands. Now we've got a bit of a gangster movie. My dad had this on DVD and he had it with a slipcover. Not that back then there was anything special, but I sort of inherited that once he passed. And I did get round to watching it, or maybe I didn't. But then I bought it on Blu-ray and I bought this steelbook, and it is Miller's Crossing. Very good film, I have to say. I was impressed with it. Might still have the DVD somewhere. Now, this film, one of the scenes in this completely shocked me. I did not know this footage existed. It's horrendous to see, but it happened, and the footage exists, and I'm glad that the film incorporated it, because, you know, it's talking about reality, so show the reality, and it is JFK. Now, who knows, one day we might get to find out who killed him. This film sort of talks about that near the end. It sort of says, you know, with the classified information and whatnot, maybe one day things will be declassified. Or maybe they'll do a sequel to The Rock and they'll tell us in that. So JFK, very good film. Another true story. Not many people are that enthralled with this version of things. Maybe they think it's a little bit too Hollywood. I really like it. I also have the CD soundtrack. Now, I'm not going to go and get it, but it is Braveheart. This is one of the nice 20th Century Fox sleeves. This is about the time I started to really pick up on the sleeves and think, yeah, I want to find sleeved versions. Some of them I found on eBay. This one I'm pretty sure I found in the shop. So that's Braveheart. I like Keith from Euphoria Picture has the nice box set of that, which I kind of wanted, and also I think he's probably got the JFK box set as well, which I also wanted. Now another classic film. The first time that these two megastars were on screen together. They have been in the same film, but they've not been on screen together up until this point. And that is Al Pacino and Robert De Niro with Val Kilmer in Heat. Very good film. Now, I was round a friend's a couple of weeks ago, and this is his favourite film, or at least one of them. And I did my usual thing. I took my setup disc and I said, do you want me to set up your TV? So he said, yes. So this is why I'm going to do a video sometime in the near future about why it's good to set up your TV properly. Anyway, I did the setup, we put this on, and he's watched this hundreds and hundreds of times, and he suddenly went, wow, I can see that the package is in the front of the truck. You'll know the scene I'm talking about, whether at the drive-in cinema and, you know, a little bit of a package exchange going on. He didn't realise it was on the dashboard of the truck right up until the point where I'd changed the settings on his TV, and suddenly it just popped out at him. So anyway, that is Heat. One of the best gunfight scenes in any movie. Sounds absolutely amazing. Definitely good for your sound system if you want to check out. Brilliant film here. I saw this at the cinema. I know a lot of us are pretty sore at the lead actor at the moment. It's a shame. Hopefully he's learned from it and that we can fall in love with him again. And that is sadly Will Smith, but Jeff Goldblum is also in this. Brilliant film, Independence Day. It was so good to see on the big screen. The scene where he punches the alien was just hilarious, and just dragging him across the desert and saying that he could have been at a barbecue and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely brilliant. The scene where they leave the atmosphere for the first time and they're flying out to the mothership. Wow. On the cinema, just wow. Definitely, if you haven't seen this on the big screen and you get the opportunity, make sure you do so. It's really worth it. So as you know, most of my collection is in sort of production year order. But of course, if there's a bit of a franchise going on, then I tend to put the films together. So that's why Independence Day Resurrection is in there. There's also a nice steelbook. Don't have this one on 4K yet, but I do have Independence Day on 4K. So I shall remedy that at some point. But this is my steelbook version of Independence Day Resurrection. I like this film. Classic Bruce Willis film here. This film, when we were watching Blu-rays and things at work, although this wasn't one of them because it's 20th Century Fox and they weren't one of our clients, a colleague of mine who was really into his home cinema setups and got a projector and everything, and then he also learned how to do proper calibration, so he properly calibrated his projector. I want him to come and do my TV because I really want this properly calibrated. But the big thing for him going from DVD to Blu-ray of this film was seeing the line of the makeup on the character's face, and it is The Fifth Element. So when the opera singer, the alien opera singer, is doing her bit from DVD, he didn't really notice it, but with the HD, and it was like a kind of a wow moment, like wow, that's so much detail, and that was the line of the makeup that goes around her neck and everything. But you know, most of these makeup things were done for the time and what you were going to be seeing it on. So clearly these things were not that visible when you saw them on 35mm in the cinema. Now that's not saying that 4K or even Blu-ray is better than the 35mm, because it isn't. 35mm and 70mm, other different film stocks will always be by far the best quality you'll ever see a film on. But maybe it was the projections, maybe it was just the quality of the prints that were sent out to the cinemas, but clearly that wasn't that visible. Or maybe people just didn't really notice it and forgot, or just they weren't interested in it. But when the HD came out, yes, that was very visible. This is a great film. Really sort of out there. I like the yeah, not that I'm going to promote this, but I like the cigarettes, the fact that they're more filter than they are cigarette, so it's a good way of sort of helping people quit. But Gary Oldman's brilliant in this. He's quite creepy, and I love that Lee Evans is in this too. He plays a brilliant little character. Lots of people in this. Very good film. Don't you dare fall off there. Now this one's another bit of a weird one, but I think it was the first time I saw a character who used to be in Neighbours. In a feature film, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And it is LA Confidential. So I think it Mike Pierce I'm talking about, but he's gone on to do quite a few other major films. You know, Momentum from Christopher Nolan's one. He's also in the Prometheus. Is he in both Prometheus? Both Prometheus and Alien Covenant, because he plays the old geezer, doesn't he? I can't remember. Right, that's those. LA Confidential. Alien Confidential. Wow, yeah, that's going to be some kind of film, isn't it? making up films here as I go along. Right, well, this film definitely didn't sink at the cinema, but sadly the ship did, and it is Titanic. I've only ever seen this film once. I really enjoyed it. I need to see it again, because I think like some of you out there, I like my ship-bound movies. I have reviewed a couple on my channel, Ghost Ship, and what was the other one? Can't remember, so I'm not going to bother. But Titanic, yes, nice slipcover on this. Probably will get it on 4K, but there we go, Titanic. Another film I managed to find with a slipcase on. This is a really good film. It stars Denzel Washington and Annette Bening, and yes, I did just read that off there. Just making sure I get my actors right. It's called The Siege. This was a blind buy basically. You know, I like Denzel Washington. He's a really good actor, so I give it a go, and I really enjoyed it. The Siege. A film I haven't seen, but it is in my collection. So this will be my wife's. But it does have a sleeve, and it is There's Something About Mary. So I've yet to see this, but I'm sure I'll see it one day, and I will probably enjoy it. There we go. Now this film, I did not get this until the end. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because to be honest, if I'm watching a film which has a twist and I get the twist halfway through, then the film hasn't done its job, has it? So, Fight Club. What a brilliant film. We all know the quotes. Just loved it from start to finish. The Meatloaf character is a little bit weird, but you know, rest in peace Meatloaf. But it was good to see a rock star doing a pretty good job in a movie. Of course, there's been a few others he's in. So anyway, that is Fight Club. Nice steelbook that my wife got me. Pretty sure I saw this at the cinema. Anyway, I really like this film. There's a brilliant moment where he eats a sandwich, but because he's blindfolded, because he's had some work done to his eyes, and of course it's a very, very mouldy sandwich. But then he sort of spits it out and finds the proper one. It is Minority Report. Very cool film, really good idea. I like the concept. I think it was very well executed. Tom Cruise is very good in this film, and so was everyone else. Max von Sydow, rest in peace him. And I forget the guy's name, but he was in a Disney film called Holes, and he was also in I think is it The Brothers Grimm, the film I haven't seen, got George Clooney in, but he plays like the kind of like the library keeper kind of guy. Sorry I've forgotten his name, because that's really crap of me, especially as I watched a video of his GQ magazine top films that he's acted in, you know, and this was one of them, and I forgot that he was in it. No point in going on about someone I can't remember the name of, so that's Minority Report. Now this one, I was a little bit shocked. Very good film. Usually we see this actor, also sadly, rest in peace, in comedy films, and we laugh our guts out with, and that is Robin Williams. Superb to see him in a straight role, very creepy, and some of the scenes, just when he's in the house and the people turn up and he's kind of doing some weird things in the house. Yeah, that's pretty creepy, but great film. 1 hour photo. Right, now we're going on a bit of a comic book film spree here. So I should start with these ones because the rest are all part of the same franchise. But I have them with sleeves, I'm pleased to see, and that is Daredevil with Ben Affleck and Colin Farrell and the late great Michael Clarke Duncan as the Kingpin. Oh, what's her name? Why don't they put actors' names on these things anymore, eh? Anyway, the female in this is also in the next film that I'm going to show you. So there we go, Daredevil. I do have the series. Again, I haven't watched it. I have the 2 steelbooks of the season 1 and 2, but I haven't watched it. I really like this film. Nicely done Marvel movie. Let's make a new path so they don't fall over, shall we? Then we have, oh, there we go, Jennifer Garner. This one has a bloody name on it, doesn't it? Nice sleeve on this one, Elektra. Now, right, so I saw her in the series Alias. Alias was something we did at Testronics. So I saw lots of her doing action in that. So when I did finally get to see this Elektra film, I can't believe I saw it at Testronic, because like I said, 20th Century Fox were not one of our clients. But I got to kind of, I either borrowed it off someone or I had seen it before I bought this version. And I really liked it. So maybe I rented it. Yeah, back then when you could go to Blockbuster or your local video store and rent these films. That's probably where I first saw it. So there we go, Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Now, managed to get the 2-pack of this film with a sleeve. I saw John Perry recently get a sleeve off of someone for the first one of these, but I like both of these films. Fairly sure I saw them both at the cinema, but I definitely saw the second one. And that is the 2-pack, not the wrapper, the 2-pack version of the Fantastic Four film. Yeah, the second one, Rise of the Silver Surfer, pretty sure I saw it at the cinema. But I really like both films. Obviously, it's a little bit strange seeing Chris Evans in there as he went on to do Captain America, but still really good films. I have not seen the reboot. And I understand they're going to reboot it again because that reboot flopped. But maybe I need to get that reboot so I can do a double bill movies and sort of compare the two. So there we go. Now this one, I actually think is a DC Comics, not a Marvel. But you may not know it's actually a comic book. And it is Road to Perdition, starring Tom Hanks, Paul Newman and Jude Law. Very good film. Now, I don't know if you can make it out on this. Yeah, you can. So the spot gloss really looks like rain. Quite incredible slipcover actually. So yes, it's really raining in this scene if you've seen the film. There's a slightly different cover there, but right, so this is 2-disc Blu-ray, and it has DVD copy, digital copy. So yeah, I was getting into my 2-disc sets and slip covers. What the hell's that? Cover. So that's why you haven't seen one of these without a cover, slip cover yet. So this franchise. Now this would lead me on a little bit to another video which I want to do, which is my reasoning behind slipcovers and why they disappear so quickly, and why they don't do that many, but also reissues, and why packaging on a reissue has to be different in one way, shape or form. So if I take the slip off of this, you may have this in your collection with a slip with this blue bit at the top, and you'll see my third version of this does have it. But I got the steelbook of this, which I didn't like, and I've actually got it to go for sale somewhere, but it only has the 1 disc in it. This has the 2 discs. So this is the 2-disc, speak boy, 2-disc version. Now I wanted one with a sleeve, but when I saw a lovely retailer had managed to get these reissued, and there we go, this is the HMV exclusive slip cover. So I think the slipcover that John Perry got for his Fantastic Four is a HMV exclusive slipcover. I'm not sure if the original one had, you know, a slipcover like this, but that's how he's managed to get a slipcover for Fantastic Four. But yeah, they did a whole load of Marvel HMV exclusive slips. So if you want to get slips for your versions, then hunt these down and you know, get them on there. But like I said, underneath the slip is exactly the same as the original. So this slip is the only thing that defines it from the original 2-disc version, which did have a sleeve. So of course, if I've got number 1, then I've got number 2. Also have the HMV slip cover. But again, as you can see, that's the original cover, and that would be on the original slip cover if you have that version. Again, 2-disc version, so it's got the bonus features and everything. Put them in the right way so it doesn't tear. Now this one is the original slip cover, and as you can see, X-Men 3. So this is the original 2-disc version, and this is the slip that came with it. Kind of would be nice to have them all the same, but you know, the fact that I have a slip on the other two, I'm happy with that. And I wasn't going to swap this one out and sell this one. That's just going a little bit too far for me anyway. But, right, now there is a character in the X-Men films that I clearly like more than any of the other characters, as I basically got all the films on, yeah, Steelbook. This, for the franchise, didn't quite go the way I think they wanted it to, but this film was really good, and that is X-Men Origins Wolverine. They were obviously going to do all the origin films, so they kind of then melded them into the you know, the early films like X-Men First Class and Last Stand and all that kind of thing. But Wolverine as a standalone film, a really good film. Oh, the pile slipped over, so let's start a new one. There we go. Now, as I said, X-Men First Class. This is the French version of the book, and it is X-Men Le Commencement. X-Men First Class. Now, this came with a book, which was basically a picture book, just showing some stills from, you know, the making of and that kind of thing. I do have it somewhere. I used to have it out all the time, but I think we've got it put away in a drawer somewhere, so should have got it out so I can show this. But there we go. There's my steelbook of X-Men First Class. Now, talking about reissues, it's not a reissue, but it's a film with basically the same name. All they've got rid of is the Origins bit, and it is the Wolverine. This was a HMV exclusive steelbook, and I pre-ordered it, so I made sure I got it. This was about the time that Skyfall was coming out on steelbook, and unfortunately HMV at the time were in trouble. So that's when I think Amazon picked up the steelbook that had clearly been manufactured. So I did get the steelbook, and no, I still class it as my HMV exclusive. But anyway, that's a different franchise. This is X-Men, and this is the Wolverine. Very good film. Really like this one. Another steelbook, and this was, I think, where they again just decided to amalgamate the origin films into kind of one film or a couple of films, and this was X-Men Days of Future Past. Pretty good, pretty cool film. Pretty cool robots and whatnot. Yeah, so Days of Future Past. Yeah, so I did follow the X-Men films right to the end. I think the only one I didn't see at the cinema was the next film. But I'm pretty sure I saw this one at the cinema, X-Men Apocalypse. Really cool steelbook there. You know, if they do a really nice, well, they won't, will they, because it's 20th Century Fox, and of course Disney has those and they don't want to do anything with physical media. But if they did do a massive X-Men box set, then I would have got it. But yeah, this one I didn't see at the cinema. Has a nice slipcover on it. Kind of should have gone for the 4K version when it came out, but I decided that, I don't know, I was in two minds about 4K at the time. But anyway, there we go. X-Men Phoenix. Dark Phoenix. Get it right, Trevor. Now this film closed it out nicely. I really like how this worked. And this has the noir version in it. I should watch it one day, shouldn't I, in black and white, but it is Logan. This I think also was a HMV exclusive steelbook. But I really like this film, really nicely put together, some great special effects and everything, and just a really good story. So there we go, Logan. Now the bit that I think a lot of you have been waiting for. What horror films have you got from 20th Century Fox, eh? Now over there is another pile of 20th Century Fox, which will be episode 5, I guess. But I do have a couple of box sets, you know, busts and that kind of thing. So I shall do another video, or maybe I'll just tack it on to the end of the next video. So then we can move on to probably 88. So on steelbook, I did have this with a slipcover, but I got rid of it because I thought, well, I've got the steelbook, so I don't need that too. And it is The Omen. Gregory Peck, brilliant film, really creepy. And to see Windsor Safari Park while it was still Windsor Safari Park, because it's now Legoland in Windsor. You know, the first time I saw this film, and I was like, oh wow, hang on, that's Windsor Safari Park. That's down the road from where I live. Was really cool to see. And there was also, what I liked about this is, was it 1976? Yeah, 1976, very, very good year that. To see what life was like in 1976 in nice HD, as this is a very good transfer. It's just really cool. It's one of the reasons I like watching these old films, just to see what life was like, and the cars, the houses, the dressing, you know, the clothes and everything in HD. Really cool. The Omen. I do have the remake over there in that pile, so I will be doing a double bill of that, and I'm really looking forward to doing it actually, because I haven't seen the remake. Oh, you know what? 1 second. Sorry about that. Well, yeah, this is the remake. No sleeve, don't think there ever was one, but it is 20th Century Fox. So there we go. That will be a double bill movies at some point. Okay. These next two films will also have a double bill movies. And that is the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. I really like this film. I saw this before I saw the original, so I didn't have a comparison, so I went into it blind, so to speak. Enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing a double bill of that, actually, watching them both back to back and seeing how they compare against each other. So that's The Hills Have Eyes, and of course The Hills Have Eyes 2. Again, I have the Arrow box set of both of these films, the originals of these films, and again this will get a double bill done at some point soon. Kind of, it's weird now when I go to watch these films and you open them up and there's no reversible art, there's just a disc, there's no booklet, there's nothing fancy, and it's just boring and bog standard. But I'm pretty sure, I don't think I bought these brand new, probably got them in CX or something like that. But yeah, that's The Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2. Now this, before I carry on, yes, I need to get that as well. So excuse me one moment again. Not doing very well, am I? Anyway, so I'll show these together, shall I? The original from the 50s and the remake with Jeff Goldblum from the 90s. Yeah, pretty sure it's the 90s. I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm looking forward to doing my double bill so I can watch this. But this one is very, very good. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a scene in this where he's you know, halfway to being the Fly and he's eating. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I know it sounds gross, but he sort of vomited on some donuts or something like that. But when I watched this, it wasn't in there. So whether there's another cut of the film or I just imagined that that's it, because that's what flies do, essentially. You know, you don't want them on your food because they puke on it. But anyway, definitely will be getting that on 4K at some point. Yeah, nice steelbook. Now, I bought this brand new. But recently, I got it for a really good price actually on eBay. So this should have been perhaps in one of my my video I did, my lucky eBay pickups. So yeah, got the little tiny slip on it. And there we go. So again, this talking about reissues and repackaging and everything. So this disc will be exactly the same one that's in a regular Amaray case, but literally it's just been reissued, but in different packaging. So yeah, I'll get around to doing that video soon, explaining all this complex nature of why Arrow keeps doing the same thing and kind of annoying people. But I need to do a little bit more research. Going to speak to my friend at the BFI, see if he can just help me out a little bit. So that's the two Fly films. Now this film I was really, really impressed with. It's a little bit like, excuse me, a little bit like Event Horizon, but oh dear, excuse me. But the slightly different concept, doesn't quite go to hell, but and that is Sunshine. Now, as a film on your system, this is really impressive for sort of, you know, picture and sound. Now, I would love to have seen this at the cinema, because I think seeing it on a massive screen would really help with the scope of the ship and everything like that. I love when they get to the other ship and it's all got this, it's caked in all this dust, and basically, yeah, it's bits of skin and things and really good space movie, really good science fiction, and a pretty good horror, I have to say. Hopefully we never have to do anything like this, but we won't be around when we do anyway. Sunshine. So this one is not the most amazing film. M. Night Shyamalan has made some brilliant films in his time. This one isn't awful. I do quite like it, and it's kind of scary in the sense that you can't see it. You know, you can't see the problem. It just sort of happens, and that is the happening. So, you know, how the hell do you avoid something that's just what's going on here? That's what's quite creepy about it. But again, got a slip on it, so that's good. Yeah, extended edition. Can't remember if I've watched the extended edition yet, but I must get around to doing that. So, last of all, for this episode anyway, two films. Now, the first one was just very bleak and just brilliant, and shot on digital cameras. So I think, you know, the transfer is always going to look a bit funny because of the kind of cameras it was shot on. It's not like the massive digital cameras that they use today. These are almost sort of camcorder digital cameras. But it was also done specifically, well, they did it for a reason. They could have shot it on film, but no, they decided they wanted to do this with the digital cameras. And that is 28 days and 28 days later. As I said, the first one is brilliant, just so bleak. And the scene where the infected guy jumps out from behind the sheets in the garden, I was watching this with my brother and I jumped sky high. And he laughed his head off because he'd seen it before. But hey, these things are meant to make you jump. And it wasn't quite sort of the jump scare like with a big music hit. It was literally just the way he went raw and came out from behind the sheets. But the second one, I need to watch it again. I wasn't that impressed. It's not the best follow-up to such an iconic film, to be honest. But yeah, I preferred getting them in one packaging. So that's 28 days and 28 days later. So like I said, that is the end of this episode, collection episode number 4. If you liked it, please hit the like button. You know, it helps YouTube go, oh, people like watching this. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Set the notifications so you know when I'm going to upload a new video. And yeah, have a good look back through my catalogue of videos and see if there's anything else that might interest you. My presenting is, I think, somewhat improved since I started, but that's, you know, same for all of us. Confidence and remembering to smile, remembering to look at the camera and not at the screen, because when you look at yourself on the screen, you're not actually looking at the camera, are you? It's very hard to do because that is very tiny. But you know, it's discipline and it's practice. But anyway, waffling on as normal after signing off. So I say, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.